Hi, I'm Alistair Ben and welcome to the Zen Haggis. In today's video, we're going to be discussing a really important topic, and it's never too late to change. Before we get into that, some kind of introduction is probably necessary since this is the first video on the channel. For those of you who come over from the Expressive Photography YouTube channel, you'll know that I'm Alistair Ben. I run a company called Expressive Photography. I'm a professional landscape photographer, musician, writer, and educator. So basically, I've been running this channel now for about 18 months or so, and up until then, I'd been running workshops and writing ebooks. That was my main career for the last decade, really. Before that, I was in international finance for 20 years and ended up leaving that industry due to stress. I was making myself ill with the amount of traveling I was doing, typically 100 or so long-haul flights a year, constantly jet lagged and working in a very high stress environment, and I was careering very rapidly towards a complete breakdown. Throughout my career, I tended to suffer quite heavily from panic disorder, general anxiety, and periods of quite deep depression. And it's something that's plagued me my entire life, but where I am now feels like the calm waters on the other side. And at the age of 53, I can look back on my life to a certain extent and see the mistakes that I made and understand where these pressure points happened. And throughout my education on the expressive photography side of things, I talk a lot about philosophy, and a lot of that stems from the amount of time I spent traveling before, being a voracious reader, living in hotels and in airports for a lot of the time. And I used to read philosophy and psychology and the neurosciences and things like that, just trying to educate myself really about things that I was generally interested in. So it's natural for me to talk about art and creativity and personal expression from that angle. Now, in terms of why the Zen Haggis, I think this stuff's incredibly important. I think creativity is a function of personal development. I think life, joy, happiness, passion, engagement, sense of fulfillment, all of these things are functions of positive living. So this is what the Zen Haggis is all about. Each week we're going to be making videos addressing some of these really important topics: personal development, creative living, engaging with the world in a more passionate way, improving ourselves, educating ourselves, becoming better versions of ourselves. And as I say in the introduction to the channel, making life better one choice at a time. So for the rest of this video, we're going to be talking about it's never too late to change. So as I said earlier, I'm 53 years old, and it's very easy for us to get set in our ways. It's very easy for us to let one day follow the next, follow the next, follow the next. And we're always kind of striving towards some point in the future, whether it's the weekend when we get to go out and make photographs or play golf or go and do things with our kids or go on vacation or whatever it might be. There's always something that we're looking forward to. And one of the things that's always baffled me is that we're racing towards the end. We're racing into the future when we all know what's at the very end of that race, which is death. Now, I don't want to be overly macabre and so forth, but we're rushing into the future towards an end where we end. So one of the things I've really worked on for, well, probably the last 5 or 6 years is to appreciate every day as a little unique opportunity to love life, to do something constructive, to try and better myself, to try and share empathy and compassion, and to try and educate as best I can, to try and just share what I've learned. And this is why we're here today on the Zen Haggis, is I want to share some of these little things that I've come up with that have helped me to get the most out of each day, to appreciate each day, and to not think too far ahead. Now, last week the landscape photography community lost one of its great black and white photographers, Mr. Jack Curran. He died, as far as I'm aware, when I was out mountain biking, and he died of a heart attack. And only a couple of weeks before, he was another one of the presenters on an out of Chicago online conference that I was part of. You know, and it's one of those things that life just gets snuffed out in the blink of an eye. And it's only at times like that that we tend to reflect. You know, if a family member or a close friend loses their life, we tend to look back at that. It's a big wake-up call, and all of a sudden we start being aware of our life and our mortality and how fragile our life can be. And it's really important to carry that with us all the time. And to that end, I think this concept of it's never too late to change is something we should be starting every morning with. It should almost be like a mantra of saying, what's the most excellent thing I can do today? You know, what can I do today that's going to fulfill today? You know, there's nothing better than getting to the end of the day feeling satisfied and tired from having done something worthwhile. I think the thing I really noticed when teaching creativity and expression in landscape photography is the concept of noticing, in that when we're in the landscape, noticing something that catches our eye, noticing something that excites us and engages us. And it's the act of noticing that kind of snaps us out of an overly thoughtful process in our brain and focuses our attention on what's at hand. And in the concept of it's never too late to change, I think we have to start noticing our life. We need to start noticing when we're reacting negatively to things. We need to start noticing when we're angry. We need to start noticing when we're on that slope that degenerates. Now, for a bit of fun this week, I'm going to lay my emotions and my heart on the line and basically say that in the last 18 months or so, I put on quite a bit of weight. 2 years ago, just now, I was about 71 kilos, and now I'm pushing 84 kilos, so 83.8 I think I was when I weighed myself this morning. Now, that is happy weight. It's a function of just being happy and enjoying life. You know, it's very easy to sit with my feet up in front of the TV, having a couple of beers and eating potato chips, having a bit too much wine, having big cheese boards, eating well, and just generally enjoying life. Now, there's no downside to enjoying life apart from the fact that you can put on weight, you can start becoming unhealthy. And I'm very, very scared of getting into my late 50s and into my 60s and ending up with heart condition or diabetes or high blood pressure or high cholesterol or other consequences of that lifestyle. So one thing I'm really committing myself to is to get my weight back down to a healthy weight for me, which is 75 kilos or below. So before the end of the year, that is my target. So each week we'll have a here's my weigh-in, and my responsibility to you guys to basically live, you know, not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, as the old expression goes. So what I want to do is say it's never too late to change, but you have to notice things in your life that you're not happy about. And then it's like, well, is this something I can do something about, or is it something I've got no control over? Now, there are many things in life that we have no control over, but equally there are many things in our life where we do. And part of the Zen Haggis mantra and philosophy is to take control of the things that we can control and understand their influence on our lives, understanding where the negatives come from and understanding where the positives come from, and focusing on growth, positivity, moving forward, self-development, becoming better versions of ourselves. I know that when I lose weight, I feel better, I move better, I ache less, I sleep better, I'm more capable of going out into the countryside carrying heavy equipment and doing my job. So there's all sorts of positive attributes. And it's not about becoming a hermit or a monk or denying myself all worldly pleasure. It's about balance and understanding these things. Please hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up, and dive into the comment section down below, and we'll try and get a bit of a conversation started here. So please just take some of this stuff on board. Start to notice the areas of your life where you're not happy. Where is your not happiness coming from? And they're the areas in your life that you can start to say, right, is this something I can deal with, or is this something that I just have to accept? And we will deal with acceptance and how to deal with those sorts of things in a future video. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope it's been of some value to you. And remember, the whole concept of it never being too late to change is something you can start now. You can start it this very minute. And what I want to do for most of these videos is to end the video with about 4 or 5 minutes of just relaxing imagery and relaxing music. And if you want to use that time to get your breath, relax, and to maybe think and just gain some perspective on your life, then maybe that's a good opportunity to take that 5 minutes out of your day. So hopefully you'll find that useful too. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing to the new Zen Haggis channel. It's very much appreciated. And Christine and myself really look forward to delivering a video every week at this time on topics that we believe are incredibly important to modern living. Next week, we're going to look at how to dissolve the box. We talk about thinking outside the box all the time. I want to talk about dissolving the box altogether. So tune in next week for the next episode of the Zen Haggis. Have a good week, everyone. Bye.